Hey everybody and welcome back. This is another episode of Mask and Chat. If you are new to this series, I will link the playlist down below and at the end of this video. And this is where I just sit and put on a mask. You should do a mask with me and we will just chat about whatever the topic of the video is. Today I'm going to be talking all about product packaging that makes me not want to buy the product. Whether it is the outside component or just how the product itself looks. This is the list of all of those things. I have quite a long list. I'm just going to kind of skim over them and tell you my one or two reasons why. Go ahead and leave me your reasons why you would not purchase specific products because of the packaging down below, what they are, because I am sure that I am going to forget 1,000,001 products that I also will not buy, specifically because of the packaging. So let me know your list down below. Today's mask is the Kiehl's Rare Earth Deep Pore Cleansing Mask. This is not new to me. I have used this quite a few times. I'm getting pretty low on this sample of it. As always, my thoughts on this mask will be in the description box down below. Take a look at that, and there will also be a link to shop it if you would like to. And also, we got a green screen. What do you guys think of this? Is it something that you like, or is it something that you don't like? This is totally new to me, and I'm a little bit mind blown. I looked at it in the editor just to kind of test it out, and I was like, whoa, this is different. So we're going to try it and see. I don't know what's behind me right now, but I will add something in the editor and we will see what we come up with. So let me go ahead and get this mask on, and I will be right back to talk to you guys. Okay, we're ready to go. I have quite the list here. No particular order, no particular hate against any brand per se. You know, bad packaging happens to good brands. I will say quite a few of these are palettes. I feel like that's where a lot of the super hyped up packaging comes in, and then I just look at it and I'm like, I don't really like that. So I guess this is kind of a list of super hyped up or packaging that everybody seems to love, and I just hate it. I'm just not here for it. So let's get right into this. Number one, any packaging that has powders and creams together with no like little flippy thing over the creams or whatever, I don't like it. I don't think that I have ever bought anything like that I can remember, just because I hate the thought of the powders getting into the creams. No, no thank you. The fancy handle makeup brushes, not here for it. Those Storybook Cosmetics ones with like the Harry Potter little wand and the rose, you know, looking ones. And I think even Wet n Wild maybe came out with like mermaid tail ones. Like, no. Number one, I feel like a lot of them, like the Storybook ones, are very overpriced for what they are. Like, the brush hairs never look that great on them, and I feel like they focus way too much on making something that's like cutesy or something that people will go like, ooh, but then the quality really doesn't seem to be there, in my opinion. So, no thank you. Rainbow highlighters. This doesn't really have anything to do with the packaging, but the product itself, no. It would just not look good on me. With that being said, I don't like blinding highlights. I like something more subtle. And those are just way too out there for me and my taste. I feel like they're really only appropriate for like festivals, concerts, things like that. So no. I put this on the list just to tell you my opinion on it, because everybody else is giving their opinion. I like the packaging of this product. However, I won't purchase the product, and it is Halo Beauty vitamin booster thingies. No thanks. I take plenty of vitamins on my own that I get from like Walmart and GNC. And I like being able to choose the vitamins that I'm taking. And number one, biotin breaks me out so bad. So anything with biotin in it, that's a no-go. But I think I'm with most everybody else. It was a disappointment that it wasn't makeup. And maybe I wouldn't have even purchased her makeup because it's not like I'm a super fan. I do subscribe to Tati. I just don't feel the need to purchase every single thing that she puts out or everything that she approves of. But I don't know. That was a disappointment. Let's see. The Kiehl Weather Collection. Oh my gosh, you guys, I felt like this whole collection, the packaging on it just looked so cheap. I don't really know what it is. Like, for instance, the Eye of the Storm palette, the font on the front of it, I was just like, no, 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 no. Not here for it. It just looked cheap to me. I don't know. And then inside, the actual colors in the palettes, I was just thinking, nope, don't need it. So that was another dud in my opinion. And even just the packaging on the lipsticks and stuff, just, I don't know. I feel like everything she puts out gets a whole bunch of hype, but I feel like it's just, it's not for me. It's not in my alley. Next up is this one isn't too recent, but it's still available on Ulta, which is why I put it on here. The Becca x Chrissy Teigen face palette. Let me say, I like the look of the outside of the palette, the way it was kind of like pinkish marble looking, but the inside, WTF. Like, I get that their main thing is highlights, but the highlights were so big, and then you've got this teeny tiny bronzer and this teeny tiny blush, and they look like the size of like eyeshadows. How am I going to get a big blush brush or a big bronzer brush into that? No, thank you. I don't know why they did that. I wish that they would have just put them all the same size. I feel like that would have been better because then you would have a little bit smaller highlight, a little bit bigger blush and bronzer. So that was the fail on that one in my opinion. Also, that was hella overpriced. Almost $50 for those products. No thanks. Moving right along. The Viseart Theory palettes. The packaging on them is the one thing that kept me from purchasing those products. I wanted the cool toned one. I can't remember the name of it. Cashmere or something maybe. And then I also wanted that purple toned one that they put out. But you guys, the fact that the packaging is like kind of like, it goes like this and then like this and then you fold it over. No. Life is far too short for me to be like origamiing a palette just to get to the eyeshadow. I don't have time for that. No time. So that's a big no for me. I just cannot stand packaging that forces you to waste your time in order to use it. No. You are not that important to me, and I'm not going to waste my time just for the privilege of using you. No, thank you. This is kind of a newer product, and it's a foundation. The Marc Jacobs Shameless Foundation. I've seen a few reviews, some that are good and some that are bad, but most of them that I've seen talk about that they like the packaging and that it's very travel friendly, yada, yada, yada. I do get that it's travel friendly, but honestly, it kind of seems like a dollar store SPF that you would buy or something. If I'm going to pay that much for a Marc Jacobs foundation, that had better be in a glass bottle and it had better be looking a hell of a lot nicer than that. No, just did not like it. I do like his packaging on the Remarkable foundation and that coconut primer thing that he has. I like that packaging. That looks really great. Did not like the Shameless one. I would say that that was pretty shameful to put your foundation in that. Now, moving on to another palette that is also a time-consuming palette. And yes, I get that most of these things would literally take like a second or two, but that's 2 more seconds out of my day that I just do not have. The Pat McGrath palettes. First off, I feel like her products are overpriced. I said it, I'm just gonna say it, they're overpriced. So for that reason, I probably would never buy any of them. And number 2, the packaging on those palettes, it's another one of those where you gotta like fold it over, and then you gotta do the little dealy-mabob. Why? Why can't we just have a regular little closing palette? I don't want to do the little dealy-mabob, the little portfolio thingy. No. Why? Another palette is actually two palettes. The Moschino by Sephora, or Sephora by Moschino, whatever it is, collection that they came out with. That big ass teddy bear palette that was like 18 inches thick and like opened up like a big gummy bear. Why? That takes up like the size of a dictionary. A big dictionary. Who has room for that? I don't have room for that. I have room. I don't want to make room. That's the truth. I don't want to make room for something like that. And the thought of getting that palette out to use makes me tired. Just thinking about having to get that out and use it makes me need a nap. So no thank you. Also, they had the little one that was like a shopping bag looking one. That's all right. You know, I don't hate it like I hate the bear, but I do hate the fact that there's these two little, you know, nylon looking bag handles at the top of your palette, and then it's like it doesn't fit in with everything else. Like, I like my stuff to be like uniform and to everything kind of fit together, and the fact that there would be something flopping around up there, no. No, thank you, Moschino. Now onto a kind of overall brand packaging. Pretty vulgar. I feel like they're pretty childish. I cannot stand the look of their packaging. I know that a lot of people really love it, but like, I look at it and think, this looks like something that I would be buying at Claire's for like 1/10 of the price, and I would let like my young niece play with it. Not me, a grown woman. I just don't like it. There's no gilding the lily on that. I just don't like it. I can't stand it. It just seems so childish. Like, I want chic, pretty packaging. That's it. I have simple needs. I don't need something that's like, that looks like a frickin' bird cage. Just don't need it. This is a skincare product. Potted cleansing balms. I don't love potted products, period. With the exception of masks and things like that. But like something that I'm dipping into on a daily basis and stuff, I don't like to have that. This just keeps, whew, I don't like to have that be, you know, contaminated by like dipping my hands in there, especially a cleansing balm, because you might need to dip in twice to get enough. And I don't love the idea of it, and I don't know why so many of these cleansing balm things specifically come in potted form. I wish that they would make it in like a squeezy tube or something. I feel like that would be a lot better. Just personal preference on that. I just don't like it. Next is all of the Storybook Cosmetics palettes. I get that they're supposed to look like books, but the fact that they take up so much space, no. I just don't want to waste that much space with a big honkin' palette. And I see something like that and I'm like, I would never travel with that. You know what I'm traveling with? Those tiny Tarte palettes, the tiny Smashbox Cover Shop palettes. Those things are things that I travel with. I would never bring with me one of those Gigantor T-Rex palettes. Just not happening. Also, they are so overpriced. I get that they are a smaller kind of indie brand. They recently got into Ulta, so kudos to them for that. I just don't like their packaging. I think it's cute, and I think it's a niche, you know, marketing technique, but I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And also, while I'm on the topic of that, all of these kind of indie brand palettes that we've been seeing lately, like the Nickelodeon palette, the Box of Crayola palette, I feel like there was another one out lately. I just can't remember because I just don't care. They're so big. They take up so much space. And I get that sometimes the pan sizes are pretty good on them, but I would rather have a much smaller palette rather than taking up like an 8x10 space. It's just not my thing. And I get that a lot of people really like stuff like that. This is just my personal opinions. And then last, but certainly not least, because this is probably the most annoying thing I can think of, improperly laid out palettes. I'm talking about the ones where they're like this big, but there's like 4 eyeshadows in there. Why? Why is this happening? So here's some examples. The Urban Decay Kristen Leanne, which is also like on 50% off sale. So glad that I did not buy any of those at full price. Will not be purchasing any of them at half price either, but in case you're interested. One of those palettes, which had like split pans also. I don't like split pans. Give them their own pan because I don't want that stuff mixing in together. But it was just like, here's some round shadows, here's some oblong shadows, and it was like the palette could have been half the size if they had just laid it out properly and everything been uniform. Could not stand that. Dose of Colors Hidden Treasure palette. You guys. They're all going like every which way. No, why? It's just, that palette could have been 1/3 of the size if they had just laid it all out right next to each other. No. And last but definitely least is the MAC by Jeremy Scott palettes. And I think almost every single one of those was kind of wonky. Dude, half of the palette is completely empty. And yes, I get that it's supposed to resemble like musical stuff. A boombox and CD cases and blah, 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 blah. You know, and equalizers and all that stuff. But so annoying. So annoying. All the wasted space. This is one of those things where they definitely sacrificed ease of use, I guess I would call it, in favor of like aesthetic, but I just feel like it could have been done better. I don't know how it could have been done better, but I feel like it could have. I just look at that and it hurts my eyes to just like see a half empty palette. I'm just like, why did I pay this? Shouldn't I be paying half of this amount? So that's my list of things that I just cannot stand in packaging that a lot of people really love. Let me know your product packaging hates down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out the rest of the playlist. There's some anti-haul, some hauls, other stuff, I forget what. But that is it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!